Welcome. In this video I'm going to show you how to enter some basic types of survey questions into SPSS. As an example, I'll be using the following 4 questions. What is your gender? What is your age? What is your name? And what do you think of statistics? To enter these questions into SPSS, we need to go open a blank SPSS file and go to the variable view. Now we can either enter the questions one by one, or we can actually first enter, for example, all the labels for one, or all the names for one, and then go over all the other columns. I'll be using this option for now. I'll start with the labels. The first question was, what is your gender? Your gender. You can either enter the entire question at the label, as for example with the gender, or if you want you can shorten the description a little bit. What's important is that if someone else gets your file, they look at the labels, they can actually get a clue of what the question actually looked like. What is your gender was the first question. What is your age and what is your name? So what is your age and what is your name? And the last question was, what do you think of statistics? So what do you think of statistics? You can also copy paste this in here. At the name we need to get a shorter description of the label. Now at the name we're not allowed to use any spaces. We're also not allowed to start with a number or use any special characters such as a percentage sign. So a good name for the first variable might simply be gender. For the second one it might be age, name, and statistics or opinion. Numeric is set by default for all variables and is what we're actually going to be typing in. Now for gender we can either type in male and female, but we can also assign numbers later to this, 1 and 0 or 0 and 1, or 2 and 3, or whichever numbers you want. And that's what I'll be doing, so I'll leave this option here at numeric because I will be actually entering numbers. Age is also a number, but the name, for example, isn't. So we need to change the type for name into something with text. There are a few different options, and the most commonly used are numeric, date, and string for text. So I'll select the string and it asks for the number of characters. Now a name can be quite long, and spaces are also included as a character, and we'll simply have to guess what might be a useful number here. So I'm gonna go with, let's say, 30, and if that's not enough I can always increase it later on. Click on OK, and as you can see the width is now changed to 30. The last one, again, I'll be assigning numbers to each option, so therefore I will actually leave this at numeric as well. The width for the numeric types is actually irrelevant. You can change it if you want, but it will have no consequences. It has nothing to do with the number of digits being shown. So only for a string variable the width is actually the number of characters. For anything with type numeric it's irrelevant. The decimals is the number of decimals that will be shown. You can still enter more decimals later on, and SPSS will actually remember those, but it will simply not show them. For gender I'll be using 0 and 1, so I don't need any decimals. For age I probably also don't need any decimals, and for statistics the numbers 1 till 4 or 5, also no decimals needed. The values are the possible variations. So for gender I can actually click on this one and use a 0 for male and click on add, and 1 for female. I highly recommend using 0 and 1 instead of 1 and 2 because that makes calculations often a little bit easier. Click on OK. For age I don't actually have any specified values, so I'll simply leave it blank. For name there's also of course no values because this could be anything, and at statistics I need to have a look. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different options. So I need to highlight each of them. So they ranged from very boring to a lot of fun. So 1 will be very boring. You can also hit enter to add it quicker. 2 is boring. 3 was fun. And 4 was a lot of fun. Click on OK. The missing is which value will you be entering if the respondent didn't answer this question. So I highly recommend using here a number that is not one of the possible values. So 99 or 999, because 99 might still be an age. 999 might be better therefore. By default it's set to no missing values. I'll go for discrete and I'll enter that 999. You can also select 2 different ones if you want, for example, to distinguish between didn't answer the question or didn't have to answer the question or answered it unreadable, or even set up specified ranges. Click on OK. If you want, and some people do this, you can also add this missing value here in the values as, for example, 999 was did not answer. You can do this, but you don't have to. You can copy paste a missing value by right click, copy, and then actually right click, paste, but it won't work with string because it's a different type. It will work of course with statistics. You can enter it separately if you really want to for the string variable as well. Columns is how wide the column will be. A line is how the data will actually be aligned, left, right or center. And the measurement levels need to be set. So for gender it's a nominal, for age it's actually scale, for name because it's actually a nominal variable, and string it's by default nominal, and the statistics was ordinal. The row option is actually only used in some modeling options within SPSS, and it's there only to make it easier, so I would simply leave everything an input. In the data view you'll now see the 4 variables that we made. If you hover your mouse over one of them, the label will actually be shown, and you can enter, for example, 0, 38, name Peter, and statistics is 4, very fun. If the value labels up here is on, it will convert the numbers automatically to the corresponding labels. If you turn it off, you'll see it simply shows the coding that went with it. If I hit a 1 now, it will actually just show 1. You can also see this by view value labels, and now it's switched back. When entering data, value labels on might be quite useful. You can enter the first letter and it will actually pop up immediately. Note that this is case sensitive, so capital F for example will not autocomplete, so I'll need a small f and it will work.